If you habitually work late in the night, you tend to sleep during the final hours before dawn. Every night you promise yourself, tonight I will go bed early. But then the house gets quiet, the distraction feeds, and suddenly midnight feels more natural than morning ever did. You are a night thinker trapped in the world built for early risers. And that mismatch slowly tears you down. But there's a hidden cost, isn't there? We have all been there. The heavy eyelids at 8 am, the brain fog that won't lift up, and an alarm clock that feels less like a tool and more like an enemy. You hit the snooze after snooze multiple times, feeling that crushing weight of duty, the office, the classroom, the grind, pulling you out of bed far too soon. Today we are looking into the science, the struggle, the age of olds, the midnight generation. Hello guys, welcome to the channel and I am Pramujjal Roy. It is not always insomnia. Sometimes it's FOMO, sometimes it's toxic world culture, sometimes it's revenge bedtime procrastination. Staying awake not because you can't sleep. It's the feeling that nighttime is the only time that truly belongs to you. Trying to reclaim time that never really felt like yours during the day. Have you ever caught yourself endlessly scrolling through social media late at night, watching friends travel, attend parties, celebrate milestones, and feeling an unsettling sense that life is moving forward for everyone except you? So you stay awake a little longer. The FOMO trap, why we feel left behind. In our hyper-connected world, the restless tug at your heart has a name, FOMO, fear of missing out. It starts as a whisper, but left unchecked, it turns into chronic stress and comparison. What is it really? FOMO is a subtle fear that sometimes meaningful is happening elsewhere and you aren't part of it. It's the group chat you weren't added to, the trip didn't take, the perfect life on your screen while you were just at home, the social media illusion. Our brains are wired for connection, but social media has hacked that instinct. We are comparing our behind the scenes footage to everyone else highlight reels. We see the celebrations. We rarely see the struggle, the quiet nights, or the doubts. When we see the peak of others' life, we start to wonder, why does everyone else seems happier than me? The warning sign. FOMO doesn't always shout. Watch for these quiet signals. The infinite scroll, checking social media, the movement you wake up or before bed. The yes trap, accepting every invite, even when exhausted, just to be present. The post scroll some, feeling lonelier or less than after looking at your feed. Ghost anxiety, feeling uneasy when you hear about an event you weren't part of. If this sounds familiar, it's time to pause. Understanding the why is the first step towards reclaiming. The cycle of revenge. It's midnight, you're exhausted, yet you are 3 episodes into a show you don't even like. This is revenge bedtime procrastination. It isn't about being lazy, it's a protest. When your day is owned by meetings, demands, and everyone else needs, the night is the only time you truly belong to yourself. You stay awake not to do something, but to exist on your own terms. The habit loop. The problem is that this revenge is a self-sabotaging loop. The trigger, a long day where you didn't feel in control. The behavior, mindless scrolling or watching to reclaim time. The result, a fleeting sense of autonomy, followed by deep exhaustion. The cost, tomorrow will be foggier and less productive, making the day feel even less like yours. feeling the urge to stay up again. 3 shifts to break the loop. Instead of using willpower or shame, try these strategic pivots. Map the value. Ask what I'm actually getting from this third hour. The first 20 minutes of relaxation might feel great. The next 2 hours usually feel numb and automatic. Once your brain realizes the reward has expired, the pull of the screen weakens. Practice clear shame. Don't fight the urge, observe it. Notice how your body feels while scrolling at 1 am. Are your eyes burning? Is your neck stiff? By noticing the physical cost in real time, you update your brain's value map of the habit. Swipe the fake autonomy. Replace mindless consumption with a micro ritual that actually restores you. 10 minutes of a book you love, a quiet cup of tea without a phone, 5 minutes of journaling. Give yourself a win that belongs to you without stealing tomorrow's energy. The dark side of hustle culture. Why slowing down is real success. Picture this. You are driving down a long highway, music playing, wind in your face, then a car speeds past you, shivering through traffic, rushing ahead. At first, it looks impressive, but then you notice the driver, tense head, stressed eyes, clenched jaw. They are moving fast, but they are missing the journey. That's what hustle culture looks like. What is hustle culture? Hustle culture is the belief that constant work equals success. It's glorifying long hours, endless productivity, and staying busy all the time. Rest feels lazy, breaks feels unearned, and self-worth becomes tied to achievement. At first it seems ambitious, but over time it leads to burnout, stress, and a life consumed by work. The hidden cost. The pressure never stops. Emails, deadlines, explanations. Eventually the mind and the body pay the price. Burnout, anxiety, poor sleep, loss of creativity. Even the World Health Organization has linked long working hours to serious health risk. Because exertion isn't success, it's a warning. The trap of toxic productivity. Many people now feel guilty for resting, even after achieving something meaningful. There is always another goal, another task, another late night. The cycle turns productivity into pressure and slowly drains joy from life. Why we glorify hustle? We admire stories of people who work non-stop to become successful. But we rarely see the burnout, stress, and sacrifices behind those stories. Social media makes it worse. Everyone seems productive, successful, ahead. And suddenly slowing down feels like failure. A better definition of success. Now more people are asking a different question. What kind of life do I actually want? Success is no longer just about money or promotion. It is also about peace of mind, healthy relationship, time to rest, freedom to enjoy life. Because productivity without well-being is not sustainable. The power of slowing down. Ironically, slowing down often improves performance. Rest fuels creativity, balance improves focus, and healthier people do better work. Life isn't a race to the finish line. If we spend our time speeding towards success, we miss the beauty of the journey itself.